right, well, welcome everyone to the session today. We'll go ahead and kick off promptly on time. My name is Jim Cosby. I'm a Chief Technology Officer for NetApp, U.S. Public Sector. And I'm here today to talk to you all about empowering the DoD warfighter, or I probably should have updated my slides to DOW, right? We're hearing that change a lot out there in the conference. And we're going to talk about intelligent data infrastructure, right? How we can make data more rapid, efficient, and cyber resilient for both AI and mission data, okay? So thank you all for coming. With that said, let's go ahead and jump right in. So NetApp's a company that's been around actually for 32 years. We're about 12,000 people, $6.5, $7 billion a year. And we continue to grow, lots of #1 ratings from Gartner Research, Forrester Research. And so we've been around, tested, and proven, and are in a lot of different agencies today. You see on the upper right here, we've got over 3 exabytes of storage, data, and capacity running today across DoD or DOW agencies, as well as intelligence agencies, civilian agencies, even state and local government. So a lot of folks are using our technology, and we'll talk about the reasons why. We do have over 100 cleared folks, a couple of SCIFs, and we partner with all the cloud providers and all the major IT application, enterprise applications that you would typically want to run, and all the cloud native applications we can support as well, okay? So it starts off with NetApp with our Data ONTAP software. So you start at the center here, and Data ONTAP itself, first off, is unified, meaning you can support file, block, and object data on the same device at the same time. So you don't have to go buy a separate NAS device or file device or separate block. You have a data device that's always on, pick your wire, pick your protocol, and you can talk to it in any location. It brings in 3 key characteristics that are what we call intelligent services. First off being efficiency. So we are talking to a lot of different agencies at the show this week about how we deduplicate, compress, and can compact and tier data down, shrink the footprint, the size, the cost and time to manage it, and actually speed up the execution of the mission because we don't have to move the full data set when we access it. The flexibility is going to come in because not only does Data ONTAP run on our hardware appliances, it can run on standard x86 OEM servers. So you can run this Data ONTAP software on Dell, HP, IBM, UCS, and you can run it on ruggedized servers from Packstar, Vector Data, Class, etc., right? Data ONTAP is also running in the major cloud providers. You can see Amazon, Azure, and Google, and we're going to go through that, what that means, but it's available both in a first-party service and a third-party service. That's going to bring in that flexibility. Now you can take that data and bring it close to where your users are, where your mission needs to run. So that can be an edge, it can be core, it can be cloud, and it can be hybrid multi-cloud, and allow you to move that data to any location. And security is going to come in because we have a host of security certs we'll touch on today, but we have more security certifications on our storage than any other storage vendor in the industry. And I'll go through those as well today. But the nice thing is once you build this architecture or framework, a data fabric or a data backbone, if you will, you now have a modern data estate that can put any of those enterprise or cloud native applications on this infrastructure, okay? So when you start to think about NetApp, we covered the 3 characteristics, and you can look at running NetApp on edge locations, right? So this could be HP, IBM, Dell, UCS, and you see some logos here for some of our partners at the show. They're here too, Vector Data, Packstar, Class, and then you've got our hardware and software arrays that can be flash or they can be hybrid. So we can mix flash drives, spinning drives, give you whatever performance for the workload the users need. We can build data lakes, right? Get into multi-petabytes, even hundreds of petabytes of storage and capacity. When you look to cloud, these 3 pillars in the center are the first-party offerings that Amazon, Azure, and Google have built in their cloud using our technology. They own, operate, sell, and support it, and we help them as needed. But if you look at Amazon, first off, the FSx for NetApp ONTAP is a very powerful offering. It gives you the unified storage, file, block, and object. It replicates in and out of the cloud. It's in commercial cloud. It's in gov cloud, right? And it's IL2, 4, 5, and 6 certified. So it today can support SBUE and IL4, and it's running in secret, and it's running in top secret cloud today. So you could take your classified mission on-prem or at edge and move or replicate that up to the cloud into Amazon at any time and keep it secure, keep it encrypted, and keep it classified. In the middle, you've got Azure NetApp Files, which is our flash arrays that Azure has put into their cloud. And that's in commercial and gov cloud. It's file storage for CIFS and NFS, and it's IL2 and IL5. These are all FedRAMPed as well, right? That often is not strong enough for DoD or Intel agencies, but a lot of our civilian friends, state and local folks, do appreciate having the FedRAMP. And then Google didn't want to be left out, so they created Google Cloud NetApp Volumes, which is premier file storage for Windows and Linux, CIFS, NFS. It's running our software in their cloud on their hardware. And they also created a classified cloud. This little one here called Google Distributed Cloud is built on NetApp's flash storage and our object storage on-prem. And we give you that same cloud capability on-prem in a classified private cloud. So GDC, you can go see at the Google booth over and talk to the guys as well. That's going to support all the intelligence agencies and DOW agencies that need classified private storage, okay? And then there's one more way you can run our ONTAP software on a virtual machine called Cloud Volumes ONTAP. So that you buy a virtual machine, load the software. It doesn't need security certs because it'll pick up whatever ATOs and security certs you have in your VPC or in your cloud boundary. And it does all the efficiency. It replicates in and out of the cloud, and it's unified as well. Again, you now have a modern data fabric or backbone, and these are some of the customers out there across DoD that are doing this today. And you start to tie into some of the multi-domain operations. I've got another diagram that'll talk to that later, and mission partner environments, where the different coalitions need to securely share and support the mission across Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Space Force, et cetera. So we're starting to do that for these agencies today. All right, so one of the main things we have, in addition to the efficiency, is the ability to replicate data very intelligently. So we do what's called a level 0 and replicate the data from left to right, wherever you want to go, with a level 0 full copy, and then we only move 4 kilobyte change blocks over at a time. So this can work over low latency networks, very low bandwidth networks. You could have a 2 terabyte image file here and only update 1 tile, and in a second or two, we've updated that downrange of wherever that mission needs to go. Okay? This is called Snap Mirror. It's very intelligent, and it also can help support DR, COOP, failover. It can support DDIL environments because we can replicate data with ease to a variety of sites and give you that instant failover, instant uptime by breaking the Snap Mirror, and now you're read-write at the destination in a matter of seconds. Okay? And when you when you get the primary site back up, we can intelligently resync only the change data since the outage back to the primary, and you revert back to where you want to go. You can replicate this from on-prem to cloud, from tactical, edge, into the core, up to the cloud, across clouds, and then back down on-prem. So that flexibility is always there to support the mission anywhere and everywhere you want to go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about AI data and some of the challenges around that. Why do most AI projects fail? It's not a trick question. Anybody want to guess? No data, right? You get the spinning circle. AI gets a spinning circle, you don't get results. So about 80% of the time, there's a lack of data, and then the data scientists are spending 50 to 60% of their time managing data when all they want to do is run their MLDL algorithms and process their AI code they're trying to do. So data is scattered everywhere. It can be held back by silos because you've got traditional legacy data that doesn't talk to new open systems data. And it's constantly under threat. There are security attacks constantly. So you need your storage and your data to be secured. So the good news is with NetApp, we're bringing this intelligent data infrastructure to AI data and mission data. It's integrated into the storage. You don't need to add special software on your applications or servers to do anything different. It just works natively with them. You can scale your performance to any level you want to go, small, medium, large, and beyond. And it's going to be trusted and secured, and we're going to talk about those security capabilities. So we just introduced and announced a new solution 2 weeks ago in Las Vegas at our annual tech conference called Insight. So we introduced AFX, which is our disaggregated approach to AI data. So we're trying to speed up the access and the way you get to data. It's also going to have AI data engines that are going to pre-process the data. So you'll be able to get it in a second or two instead of combing through terabytes or petabytes of data and taking minutes, hours, or days. So it's going to let you scale that mission. You see on the bottom right, you see disk shelves. These are typically very fast NVMe flash drives. And then you've got as many of the storage controllers at the right or the data engines that you want. And you're going to have not only enterprise-grade capabilities, but it's going to be hybrid multi-cloud connected. So this AFX solution can talk to your data on ONTAP on other people's servers, ruggedized systems. It can talk to our arrays, and it can talk across all the clouds. And I've talked to numerous agencies and folks at the show that DOW is definitely using cloud, Amazon, Azure, things like that. How are you going to keep it secure? How are you going to keep that access and know what's where? This solution gives you that ability for AI and mission data. It consists of three major components. You have your AFX controllers. These are the storage controllers, the 1K. You have the storage shells, which are NVMe, those NX224s. And then the important thing is going to be these DX50 compute nodes. They're going to go out and pre-process the data and find it. The nice thing is you'll be able to see all of your ONTAP volumes, edge, core, cloud, across the clouds, and the metadata engine will take in your constructs that you give it, what you want it to find and index. It's also going to have a data sync capability using our SnapMirror to make sure the data is replicated to any site where you need to access it. We're going to have data guardrails put on there by using our classification service that's built into our storage to comb through your structured and unstructured data, to understand what you have, and you can give it search patterns to look for things that are sensitive, build out compliance and governance rules around the data. And then lastly, the data curator is going to help build a vector database that will have an API that your data scientists and applications can talk to. And you see some of the examples on the right. And now you know you need to go get that data, in Colorado Springs in 1 or 2 seconds and not look across the whole US at all the different bases for your agency. So that's going to be a big benefit for AI and processing data. When you look to other solutions we've built, we do partner heavily with NVIDIA. We do have SuperPods, right? All the GPU, latest servers out there, and our very fast NVMe storage to build large language model processing and medium size. We also have AI pods that will work with standard x86 servers. So pick your favorite server vendor out there, and we can build small to medium size inferences for AI. And we also have a framework called AI Pod Mini that leverages the new Intel Gen 6 CPUs. So you don't have to have GPUs to process AI data. You can do this with Intel processors and a small flash array. And because it uses Intel's open platform for enterprise AI, OPIO, you can put whatever application you want on top of this, right? So you can go out here to the show floor and you'll find 10 or 15 or 20 that you could put on top of this. And it can be built into a ruggedized system. It can be in the back of a Humvee. It can be wherever you want it. And now you have a small inference that can be edge-based, tactical if you will, and support small to medium language processing, right? And then we do have an alliance with Cisco called FlexPod that's for AI as well, and it leverages the best of Cisco's technology out there, UCS servers, their Nexus switches, and our NVMe storage. We can pre-build this for your characteristics, 10 AI data scientists, 100 medium users. Roll it out, plug it in, and you turn it on, and it's pre-built. You don't have to sit there and install it and roll it up together or yourself in the field. As far as cloud goes in AI, we're already supported in all three of the major cloud providers. And we do this with Google Cloud NetApp Volumes, which we mentioned earlier. That works with the Vertex AI capability in Google. And in Amazon, the FSx for NetApp ONTAP works with Amazon Bedrock. I've already talked to a couple folks at the show who are doing that. One of them was this morning. And we can leverage Azure OneLake's AI capabilities with our Azure NetApp files. So again, wherever your data is, on-premise, edge, we can go to the cloud with that and make it readily available for AI. So jumping into security real quick, these are some of the certifications we have, some of the most important ones. We do have the FIPS 140-2, the FIPS 140-3 certifications. We have a DISA-STIG, so you can harden and STIG the system. We're on the Department of Defense approved products list, and we have a common criteria cert. And then lastly, but most importantly, we have a CSFC certification. How many people have heard of CSFC in the room? Any hands? Oh, good, good. Got about almost half the people. So commercial solutions for classified is NSA cert that lets you store secret and top secret data on your storage infrastructure. Okay, we do that with dual AES 256 encryption. We're the only storage technology that has that certification in the industry. So if you're building CSFC solutions, which a lot of agencies are these days, there are servers that have it and applications, there are network switches that have it, but we have it for the storage. So NetApp has that CSFC. It's a very unique capability. Okay, talking about ransomware resilience. We just announced this 2 weeks ago, the NetApp Ransomware Resilience service. It leverages all of our security capabilities you see in this blue box into an automated and GUI front end, so it will alert you when you have a data change or an attack, right? So it uses something first off called autonomous ransomware protection, or ARP. That means it learns your user's data access patterns, right? So we know people work Monday through Friday. Saturday at 2 a.m. somebody starts churning a bunch of data. That's an anomaly, not normal. What do? We take a snapshot in 2 seconds because we use pointers to blocks of data. We don't move the data. We have built-in backups to recover in case there was a virus attack, WannaCry virus, or somebody's encrypting all the files, and we can get all the data back out of that folder. It's just the folder in the volume where the snapshot was taken. So backup and recovery is built in. So if you had an 8 a.m. snapshot and then at 8:30 an attack encrypted all the data, we can revert the entire volume, hundreds of terabytes, back to 8 a.m. just by looking at the pointers to those blocks in 1 or 2 seconds. That is data magic, if you will, right? But that's legendary. We've done this for over 30 years, and ARP can help you capture that and do that. We do have a file policy capability that will block file types you don't want. If you don't want MPEGs, JPEGs, things like that, MP3s will block that. And file policy can also talk to about 10 different SIEM servers out there. So things like Varonis or Symantec for virus scanning, Cleandris, right? We can proxy data off to them, further qualify, quantify, grant access, deny access, cleanse it, right? And then tell the mission to continue. But it's yet another layer of security you can use there. We do have a data classification service that looks at structured and unstructured data. It'll analyze any file data you have, any object data you have in about 12 different databases, and look for common concerns like PCI and HIPAA and SEC violations. But more importantly for DOW, you can give it custom search patterns. If DOW is sensitive, it'll go find that acronym throughout your entire data sets. And we have customers using it today to look for Capco headers and files, right? i.e. secret and top secret banners and files that shouldn't be in data where they find it. So the classification service can alert you to changes. It builds a baseline, and it'll tell you when something's been compromised, and then you can use the other technology to recover. There's also a backup and recovery service we have that's available to back up and recover volumes of data instantly. And then we have immutability and indelibility of data, okay? So this gives you a guaranteed way to back up data that can't be changed because cyber attackers are getting into the environment, turning off logging, corrupting the backups, infecting the primary, and then you have no way to recover except pay the ransom. This gives you a guaranteed way to lock data you can't change based on a compliance clock, so you can always recover your data, okay? And then we can apply that to tamper-proof snapshots. So all this is built into the ransomware resilience dashboard. A couple of use cases. This is very typical where whether you're at tactical edge or on standard servers or cloud, we can save 85% reduction in the footprint. Dedupe compression, compaction, tiering. Something like VMware or imagery data. If there's a lot of commonalities, we can shrink that down by 80%, a lot. Hundreds of percent times in setup and deployment because we're not running full Linux or Windows. Our ONTAP boots in a minute or so, and it's up and running just as quick or faster than your servers. Reduction in tech support cases, and then with our snapshots and SnapMirror, the backup and recovery is built in, and you don't necessarily have to have other software to back up and recover, so you save hundreds of percentage of time there. This is an NGC2 scenario that we've built and we're working with partners on currently for commander centralized data management. right? So you can have a commander located in a Humvee or wherever you want and then control the data dissemination out to the edge. So you've got tactical edge deployment there, and you can replicate the data, push what map data you want, what AI data you want back and forth, and you can run this on ruggedized systems, you can run it on Dell, you can run it on Atmos or HP, et cetera. And this can tie into the cloud and give you that multi-domain operations or mission partner environment capabilities we talked about. So in summary, again, you can run data ONTAP itself in a software format called ONTAP Select, and that will run on other people's servers. It runs on a VMware ESX hypervisor or a Linux-based KVM hypervisor. And then you've got the flash, our hybrid and flash arrays that you can use on our hardware, and then you've got the cloud offerings. This NetApp console is our tool that will let you see the data everywhere and manage it in one pane of glass. So for example, if you save 80% with VMware here with dedupe, compression, compaction, tiering, you will save 80% as you replicate that to another location back at a core site. You will save 80% in the cloud and across all clouds, and you're going to reduce the ingress and egress costs, which are very expensive for cloud, okay? And then you can put any enterprise app, cloud native app you want on that. Again, these are some of the JADC2, JWCC programs out there for Army, Air Force, Marine Corps, et cetera, Navy. And we're being used in some of these today to give a common unified data platform for all the other agencies to share data. Okay? All right, well that was the session I had, and if there are any questions, I'd be glad to take it, but hopefully it made sense. Thank you.